Well, hello everyone. It is 7:01. It is time to grandstand with Mother Theresa. I just want to thank everyone for joining in. Thank you, Mama, for joining in. I see that you are number one. You are on here, and Net is right behind you. You all, I just want to say that I am so very pleased to be able to come and grandstand with you all each and every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. And again, I'd like to say that this is my opportunity to not only grandstand and share with you all the things that I feel like that I want to, the things that I want to kind of drop a few nuggets into your spirit or into your soul. But then also when you respond back in the chat, then that gives me some additional things to talk about. So whenever I'm grandstanding, please feel free. Hey, daughter. And Ned, I'm not talking to you this time. I'm talking to Mama. You know, Mama called me. She said that I was her mom earlier in the week, and I got a chuckle out of it. And so as as we were getting off the phone, she said, "Bye, Mom." I said, "Bye, my daughter." And she said, "Theresa, you were not going to even correct me." And I was like, "No, ma'am, absolutely not. I'm just going with it." I just chuckled a little bit. So, and you know what? What we're going to talk about tonight is going to come right in line with what I was just talking about. So in case you did not know, that the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so for the month of May, typically what we do is that not only we, but across the nation, what happens is that we try to highlight mental health. Hey, Eb, or hey, Cent. We try to highlight and put a spotlight on mental health, because so many times when we're thinking and talking about mental health, so many people will not acknowledge the fact that they are having some mental health issues, whether it be because of the stigma that's attached to mental health, or it's because, in our certain cultures, it's frowned upon. If someone is having some mental health issues, you don't talk about it. You keep all of that stuff in house. It kind of goes back to what we used to talk about, what goes on in this house stays in this house, OD. We were brought up and some of us, we knew that what happened in our house, it stayed in our house. But sometimes there were things that were happening, especially as it relates to mental health. We should have been talking about it. We should have been able to talk to somebody and tell somebody, "Hey, I'm not doing so well," or "I need some assistance," and if it wasn't you, maybe it was a family member that was having some issues, that were not just quite right. Sometimes, and especially in some of our families, we can know that we have a crazy cousin or a crazy uncle or auntie. And what do? We typically laugh about it and say, "Oh, that's just so-and-so. That's just so-and-so. That's just the way that they act. That's just the way that they behave." But sometimes some of that was mental health issues. And because we did not necessarily know or have a lot of knowledge about mental health, we just kind of played it off, or we just kind of overlooked it. We didn't talk about it. Back then, there was no going to seek any professional help, because for most of us, and especially long time ago, if you were having some issues, guess what we did? We took it to the Lord. We prayed about it. And I'm not saying that we should not have done that, but I'm going to let you know that it's okay to have a belief in Jesus Christ and to have a therapist too. Because one of the things that I will tell you is that when you have a mental health issue, and so many people said it's just it's a demonic spirit, it's an evil spirit. Well, you all, some of those things that is going on within a person, medication and talk therapy works. Sometimes all you need to do is to have somebody who can listen and to be able to talk you through some of the things that you're going through. Now, I definitely believe that prayer is always in order. Prayer is all right, Net. Net said, I love Jesus and my therapist. Thank you, Net. You know, one of the things about it is that when we go to school, you know, for counseling and for mental health and different things like that, they teach us how to be able to help people, to walk the journey with them, to be able to guide them. And I often say that most of the answers that a person needs, the therapist doesn't necessarily have it, but they can guide you. We typically like to say we like to walk alongside you and guide you to get to the answers that you have within. Nobody knows your life more than you do. But sometimes we have to have someone that's encouraging us and walking alongside of us to help guide us to the answers that we really, really need. And having a good therapist is great. Having a therapist that you can go to and you can talk to. And guess what? Your therapist is not going to tell your business. Because if you go and talk to a friend about some of the things that you're going through and some of the mental health challenges that you're having, your friend may not be so confidential, and they may go and they may talk about it, or they may say, oops, I let it slip, or I'm going to tell you this about so-and-so, but don't you tell nobody. Okay, so a therapist is not going to do that, or at least a good therapist, an ethical therapist would not do that. They're going to keep all of those things that you share with them. They're going to keep it to themselves. And let me tell you, we are hey, Melinda, speaking of therapists, Melinda is a LPC, which is a licensed professional counselor. So she knows exactly what I'm talking about as far as keeping that confidentiality when your clients come to you with their issues. Melinda, we're talking about Mental Health Awareness Month coming up in the month of May. And so, you know, as I was sharing, is that a lot of times what has happened in the past and in some of our communities, we do not talk about mental health. And like I said, sometimes it's the stigma that's attached to it. You know, we worry that if somebody knows that I'm seeing a therapist, will it affect my job? How will my friends, you know, feel about me? How will, you know, the community look at me? How will the church, you know, handle me? Or you know, is everybody going to think that I'm crazy? And things like that. Melinda said, I love my clients. And yes, mental health matters. And so you have a lot of things that sometimes will keep you from seeking out a therapist. Okay. And what I want to share with you all as we talk about mental health awareness and mental health month is that this is the month that we highlight mental health. This is the month that we really, really try to put a lot of emphasis on your mental health and making sure that you are okay. Making sure that if you are not feeling your very best, that you seek somebody that you can talk to. And I would hope that you would find a professional person. But if you can't afford it, or if you're just not at that point where you can go out and seek professional help, then I would say find a reliable, a sensible, a knowledgeable person that you can talk to and you can confide in. Some of you all have good best friends or good people in your family that are non-judgmental. And that because they are non-judgmental, they're going to listen to you. And they're not going to, they're not going to judge you based upon the things that you share with them. So please make sure that you find an individual and you all talk to them about the things that are stressing you, the things that are going on in your life. And when I talk about stress, you know, there are so many things that happens in our everyday life that causes stress. And you may say, well, I'm not sure if I am stressed, or I know that I'm stressed and I don't know what to do about it. Or I don't know, we hear people talking a lot about self-care, and you're thinking, "Oh, I can't afford to do self-care." Well, I'm going to tell you, yes, you can. Sometimes when we think of self-care, a lot of times we go to the extreme, or we go to a place where, oh, self-care means either going to, for a female, maybe it's going to get my nails done, or maybe it's going to get my hair done. Well, yes, that is a form of self-care, but that's not the only thing that you can do. There are other things that doesn't cost a lot of money that you can do. Now, there are things like a good massage, being able to, go and have a mani or a pedi, or taking a trip, or going shopping, or doing all of these things. If that's what relaxes you, if that's what brings your stress level down and you can afford to do that, by all means do that. But if you just want to be able to go and sit out on your back porch, that's my stress reliever. Me being able to go and sit out on my porch and just kind of take in the sunshine, or enjoy that, just being outside, that works wonders for me. Yesterday, my husband sent me a text and he said, "I'm going to be at our other property. I'm going to go fishing for a little bit." And so he asked me if I wanted to join him. And I was like, "Well, I need to go home and change clothes." Hello, cousin Andrea. I said, "I need to go home and change clothes, and then I'll be there." He said, "No, you don't need to change clothes. Just come on, just like you are." He said, "Stop and get some bug spray so you can spray, because the mosquitoes are bad right there by the water." And so I went and picked up my little bug spray and the little light, the citronella candle, and everything like that. And so when I got there, he was busy on a project that he's working on. But as soon as we got there, he got his fishing poles, and we sat right there, put our chairs right there at the water. And let me tell you, for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, we just sat there and we just talked. And I watched him fish, and I laughed a lot at him about how he was fishing and everything. But that was so relaxing, just being able to just sit in nature, look at that water, just enjoy, just being together with my husband. Hey, Kiki, just being together with my husband and enjoying one another. So when we talk about how do you relieve stress, that was an excellent way for me to relieve some stress at the end of the day. Typically, I don't go out there unless it's on the weekend, but having to end my Monday evening by the water, sitting there fishing. Now, I wasn't fishing, I was just watching. But those are some things that did not cost me anything but the time to get there. So I didn't spend any money, while I was there. I was just relaxing. So what are those things? Now, I know Kiki just came from a nice vacation, and we were talking about the things that you do to relax you, to de-stress you. Sometimes it is jumping on a plane or getting in the car and driving to a location that is peaceful, that brings you calm and tranquility. One of the things that we did, my husband and I did a couple of years ago, when we went on our road trip for our vacation, we didn't have a destination per se that we had to be at a certain place at a certain time. We just got in the truck, and we knew that we wanted to take the back roads. We wanted to take the back roads in Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi, and that's exactly what we did. And we had the best time. And like I said, when you're talking about your mental health, you all, what are some of the things that you all can do? Thank you, Kiki. What are some of the things that you all can do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself? I know for some it is, reading a book. I know for some it's exercising. For some it may be running. I know, Andrea, I don't know if you still are a runner, but for some it's running, some it's exercising, some it's cooking, some it's all these different types of things that you're doing. And then for others, it is watching a good movie, just being able to sit on your couch and watch a good movie, or get in your bed and just relax and not have anything to do. Other people, it may be taking a long hot shower, or a relaxing bath. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing that's going to help you. Hello, Brother Joe. Whatever you're going to do that will help you to be able to de-stress. That's what I need you to do. And in the month of May, as we talk about mental health awareness, I want you all to be very conscious of the things that you are doing to de-stress. And not only that, but I also want you to be very mindful that if you are struggling with some mental health issues, I want you to seek out some help. And I used to get on here when I first started and I would say, I am not acting in the role of a mental health professional when I am doing this. This is not your therapy session. This is none of that. That's what I do professionally, but this is not what grandstanding is all about. But on today, hey, Melissa, on today, what I am sharing with you all are some tips and some strategies to help you to be able to live a stress-free life. One of the other things that I will tell you all is that as you are trying to de-stress, make sure that you are not overloading your plate. And when I say plate, I'm not talking about our physical plate that we're eating off of. What I mean is, don't take on too many assignments that leaves you going from here to there, and you're pulled in all different directions. Because when you're pulled in all different directions, that is one of the quickest ways to get burnout. And it's one of the quickest ways to feel overwhelmed and to feel stressed. And so if you're trying to de-stress, if you're trying to take care of yourself, you've got to remember that it's okay to say no. I've talked to you and shared with you all a little bit about boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. Being able to say no and mean no, it is okay. You don't have to agree to be a part of every single thing, because at some point your body is going to get tired. You're going to be exhausted. And guess what? You're not going to be good for anybody or anything. So learn to say no. Learn to say, you know what? I can't do it this week, but maybe I'll be able to help you on next week or even next month. Or if you know that you cannot do it at all, just tell the person, I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to be able to do this right now. And it is okay for you all to say, I just don't have the time in my schedule right now. Because guess what? Listen, if you do not prioritize your time, someone else will prioritize it for you. Okay? If you do not keep a handle on putting some boundaries for you and how people will call upon you, then guess what? Other people will. And a lot of times the reason why people are calling up on us to do certain things is because, we talked about that oil and we talked about that giftedness and our talents. A lot of times people are calling up on you because they know that either you're gifted in doing something, or you're talented in doing that, or that is just, you're just good at it. And so they may want you to be a part of something or to be able to do something. And there comes the times when you just have to say no. You have to say no. Thank you, Kiki. You have to be able to not only say no, but to then mean it. Don't let a person make you feel guilty about saying no. It is okay. There is a good book, and I don't know if it's one that's on my bookshelf, but there is a course that I taught many years ago to the Christian Women's Job Corps, and it was about boundaries, and it was about the power of saying no. Yes, boundaries are definitely important. the importance or the power in saying no. And I'm going to just tell you all, because I know it's a lot of women on here, but there are some guys in here. And my guys that are on here, thank you all so very much for joining in and listening. But as women, because we are nurturers, because we like to take care of people, because we like to be that one that is that helpful one, that motherly type, a lot of times we are called upon to do things and we feel almost obligated. We feel like, oh, I've got to do it. They thought so much of me. I've got to do it. Again, no, and still no. But I will say this. If you can say yes, and if it's not going to cause you any stress or whatever, it's okay to say that. I'm not saying to say no to everything, but listen, remember we're talking about mental health matters and mental health awareness and how to de-stress. And if you have overloaded yourself, that could be very stressful. Another thing that we can do is we can make our life a little bit more simpler by some of the, not just the things that we're involved in, but sometimes the expectations that we have of others. Just like I was saying, that a lot of times people will expect you to do certain things. Sometimes we become so stressed out because we expect other people to do a lot of things that sometimes we're putting too much on them. And so we have to think about that. Am I causing my husband to be stressed, my children to be stressed, my co-workers? Melinda may say, well, Miss Caldwell, you just opened up a mouth, hornet's nest. Sometimes I may cause stress for my people that work in my department, but that is not my intention. But this is what I'm not really talking about that, Melinda. What I'm talking about is that sometimes we can be so demanding of other people's time. And when they do not give us or reciprocate that with us, okay, yes, thank you, Melinda, you're so nice. When they do not reciprocate that, then it causes not only us to be stressed, but it will cause that other person to be stressed. So as we are trying to alleviate the stress in our life, hello, Sister Claudette, as we are trying to alleviate the stress in our lives and we're trying to live a peaceable life, and also we're trying to make sure that we are taking care of self, be mindful of the things that you are requiring of other people, okay? It's okay to say no, but it's also okay for them to tell you no. And when they tell you no, let's learn to be accepting of that. Let's learn to be accepting and not get upset when somebody can't do something for us, okay? Because sometimes the things that we are asking for someone else to do, it's really something that we should be doing on our own, okay? There are things that I know that I will definitely allow other people to do, but I'm more than capable of doing it. So if they can't do it, it's not a big deal, okay? There are some other things that, hey, Jennifer, there are some other things that we can do to help take care or to alleviate stress. And I kind of started talking about it a little bit earlier when I talked about self-care and taking care of yourself. One of the things that I do realize is that so many times, and I stated earlier, as females, as mothers, we take on the weight of the world. And we can allow so many things to come upon us that we are not taking care of ourselves. We can make sure that our kids get to the doctor, our spouses are getting to the doctor, and all of that. And, and our parents are getting to the doctors, just our people in our lives, that they are being taken care of medically. But then when it comes to us, we put ourselves on the back burner, and we may have an ache or a pain that has been, dragging on for months, and we don't go and see about it. So we've got to do better in making sure that we are taking care of ourselves. We've got to be sure that if we are pushing others to excel in other ways, then we are not only pushing others, but we are encouraging ourselves. There are some goals and there are some dreams and aspirations that I know many of you all may have, but rather than pushing yourself out, or you're taking that leap of faith. Hey, Sonia, rather than you taking that leap of faith, you're encouraging everybody else. Hey, go back to school, go and write that book, go and do whatever those things are that you are encouraging other people to do. But yet there is a book waiting inside of you. Yet there is a class that you want to take. Yet there is a degree that you haven't finished. So not only do I need you to encourage other people, but make sure that you are reaching your goals and you are attaining the aspirations and the goals that you have set for yourself. Because guess what? When we talk about, our mental health and being okay with who we are and making sure I like to say our psyche is good, that we're living well, that we are doing well, that we are laughing, and that we are, enjoying life. Make sure you enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. Don't put off those things, because guess what? We never know when there may come a time that we are not physically able to do those things, or we're not able financially to do those things, or we're not in an emotional state to do those things, or who knows what may happen that will prevent you from being able to do the things that you have desired to do. So take care of yourselves. Live the most fruitful life that you possibly can. Don't be afraid to take risk. Don't be afraid to start new things that, or to finish up things that you started and you need to finish. Hello, Tanya. And also to start some new things. Don't be afraid to step out in the deep. Don't be afraid to step out in the deep, because if you do, I almost guarantee you, it may be scary at first, but it only takes one step. It only takes one step. And we talk about faith. I talk about faith before, and I'd like to say I'm a faith walker. But as a faith walker, I also know that I didn't know what was going to happen at the end of the journey, but I just had to start walking. And so as I began to start walking, God, he was pleased and he honored the walk and the obedience in starting the walk, in starting the journey. So I want you all to just make sure that as we are celebrating the month of May for Mental Health Awareness Month, that you all are in check with who you are. You're in check with your emotions. And if you are not doing well, seek some help. And not only for you, but be mindful of the people in your surroundings, the people that are in your circle. And there was a t-shirt that I saw not too long ago. It said, "It's okay not to be okay." But if you're not okay, now the t-shirt didn't say this, but if you're not okay, it is okay to seek help. We don't want you to not be okay and then not do anything about it, okay? And that's what the month of May, that's what mental health awareness is all about, is talking about the mental health crisis that we have in this nation. And it is a crisis, you all. There are so many people that are having some mental health issues and they don't know what to do about it. So because they don't know what to do about it, they don't do anything about it. But we want to encourage you all to seek help. Not only seek help, but also notice the people that are around you. If they're not doing well, if they're not living well, and you know that there are some mental health issues, be the person that can help them. Be the person that can steer them in a direction where they can get help. And one of the new things that, we used to have 911, we used to have 211. I think, of course, we still have all of that. But now we also have 988. If anyone is, feeling like they are either suicidal or if you are needing someone to talk to, it is a hotline that you can call, and you just dial 988. They're going to ask you where you're from. They're going to ask you to make sure that you are doing okay. Are you in a safe place? Are you not? And they're just gonna walk you through, to be able to provide you some assistance. Okay. So if you know someone that is struggling with their mental health, please make sure that you are using the 911. And not only are they doing 911, not 911, but 988. Not only are you all utilizing 988, but then you are also seeking out some professional help. And in that 988, they can lead you and guide you to people in your area that can be helpful. And one other thing that I'm going to share with you all before I leave tonight, because remember, it's only 30 minutes. I don't take up a lot of your time. So one of the things that I think that for some people that they may not be aware of, some of our jobs offer employee assistance programs. And in that employee assistance program, mental health may be one of the services that they provide free of charge. So I know with my school district, we have, through our employee assistance program, we have 6 free sessions that we can talk to a mental health provider for any given circumstance or situation that we may be having. And if we're, say, for instance, if we're dealing with depression and we do our 6 sessions with depressions, and then, 3 months down the line, down the road, I'm dealing with something else, maybe depression again, well, I get 6 more sessions. So it's for each occurrence that you're able to utilize that. And I'm sharing this with you all because for some of you all that work in different industries and different things like that, you all also may have that as part of your employee assistance program. So check it out. Listen, you all, it's always great visiting with you all. It's always a good thing on Tuesday nights for us to be able to come together. Tanya, I hadn't seen you in a long time. So it's so good that you all joined with me tonight. For those first time people that are coming in with me, I just want to thank you all for being here on tonight. I don't take it for granted that you have turned aside. Hey, Miss Kina May, I don't take it for granted that you have turned aside a portion of your Tuesday nights to grandstand with Mother Thresa. I always try to keep it short, simple, but encouraging, and also give you some strategies and some tools that you can use for the rest of your week. And if you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're not, please become a subscriber. You can also find me on YouTube and TikTok, and I think Twitter. So thank you all again for being with me on tonight. Listen, Mental Health Awareness Month is the full month of May. The color for Mental Health Awareness Month is the color green. So if you would like to wear green during the month of May, show your support for mental health and everything that it stands for by wearing green. Hey, Crystal. And so thank you all so very much. Catch the replay. I hope that everyone have a great night. And listen, take care of yourself. Take care of not only your mind, your soul, your body, but especially during the month of May, where we're talking about mental health. We're talking about the mind. We're talking about making sure everybody's doing well emotionally. Y'all have a good night, everybody. All right, we'll see y'all the next time. Let me find my music, my theme music, and we're going to take it on out of here. Let's find it. Y'all have a good night, everybody. And of course, it's not playing. I don't know. Sometimes I think I get so excited about certain things and I mess up on stuff. But I can't seem to get my music to play right now. So I'm going to say good night, everybody. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you all back here on next Tuesday. Good night, everybody. I see you all are still here. Okay, so just wait with me right here. I'm going to make sure that this works, okay? I got it. Thank you, Crystal, for joining. Thank you, OD. Listen, y'all have a great night. Enjoy your dinner and come back and be with me on next week. Bye-bye, everybody.